The Detroit Lions wrapped up their final preseason game of the 2025 NFL season today. They played an extra game this preseason, making it 4 with the Hall of Fame game, one game every year. Two teams every year get an extra preseason game due to the Hall of Fame game, and one of the teams this year was the Detroit Lions. We ended up losing this game today to the Texans, 26-7. We technically fell to 1-3 on the preseason. That was our record. Now, in my opinion, we went 0-3. I'm not counting the Atlanta Falcons game due to what happened to Maurice Norris, and it had to be ended early, essentially a whole quarter early. The game had ended, so you didn't know what it was going to pan out to. It's not like we had a 4-touchdown lead. We had a 1-touchdown lead. So I say we did not win a game on the preseason this year. I mean, take wins where it's at if you can, but I'm just not taking a win there. So in my opinion, the Lions went 0-3 this preseason. They did not win a preseason game this year. Um, but in the books, we technically did go 1-3. But let's go ahead and get straight into it. Final preseason game. It was a rough one. We fell 26-7. It felt very fast this game, but it was one of the most boring games I've ever watched. It wasn't really stressful. It was just very boring. Take a look at the Lions stats here. Hendon Hooker. We'll start off with Kyle Allen, actually. Kyle Allen started the game, was great once again. Arguably, I think looked the best he's looked of any preseason game to start. 5 for 5, 66 yards, and a beautiful 33-yard touchdown to Isaac Tesla. No interceptions. He was phenomenal. He only played 2 drives. His first drive took a sack. They ran the ball back-to-back times, and then took a sack on the third one, which was a smart decision because he could have forced a throw that could have been picked off, but he ended up just taking the sack, so it was a smart decision by him. And then his second dive, he was electric, hitting everybody right in the chest, not high like he was last week. And, of course, through that beauty, 33-yard touchdown in the bucket to Isaac Tesla. He looked great. Kyle Allen has officially won the quarterback 2 job. Don't think the Lions are going to bring anybody else in to compete with them for the quarterback 2 job. I do think they bring in another quarterback on the practice squad to be the emergency third-string quarterback and get a new one in there to replace Hooker. We'll go over Hooker here in a minute. But I don't think they're going to bring anybody like Carson Wentz or anybody, even Ryan Tannehill in, or somebody who gets cut. Case Keenum, a guy like that could get cut from the Bears, who they just extended Tyson Bagent the other day, so maybe they cut a guy like Case Keenum. I don't see the Lions bringing in anybody to compete with Kyle Allen for the backup quarterback job. Kyle Allen played very good throughout this preseason. I think he had 78% completion percentage, over 400 yards passing, and 5 touchdowns, 2 picks. You take out that Hall of Fame game, he was one of the best quarterbacks in all of preseason this year. Was very accurate for the most part. Threw decent amount of touchdowns, decent amount of yardage for how much he was in the game. And if it wasn't that for 2 interception game and all those incompletions versus the LA Chargers game, he would have arguably been statistically the best quarterback this preseason, no doubt about it. On a Hendon Hooker, oh my God, I hate to say this, he is horrible. I mean, he is not a good quarterback. He is horrible. 6 for 11, 70 yards, 0 touchdowns, 1 interception. I can't believe this guy didn't pan out. I really can't believe it. I mean, I told you last week I was out on him, and I still was up until this, even up until this game. But did he prove again that he is not a good quarterback? It's insane to me. If I'm not as loud this video, that's the reason why I got a little. My voice is starting to be shot here a little bit. So if that's the reason why I'm not as loud this video, that's probably why. But Hendon Hooker was struggling a lot. He overthrowing people, threw the interception right to the defender. There was no wide receiver really in the vicinity. I think he was trying to throw it to Dominic Lovett. Dominic Lovett was right ahead of him. There was no way Dominic Lovett could have made that catch. Dominic Lovett was running down, and Hendon Hooker overthrew him, and it was behind him. It was horrible, right to the defenders. Horrible interception. And Hendon Hooker kind of did that same thing again. I think it was to, I want to say Shane Zylstra, maybe it was Zach Horton, that also could have resulted in a pick. He is not a good quarterback. He had one good play the whole day. It was like a 20-yard scramble. That was very impressive. But besides that, him in the pocket and him throwing balls was horrible today. His accuracy, his decision making was horrible once again. Hendon Hooker's time as a Lion is obviously now going to come to an end, in my opinion. The question is any team going to give him a shot? I think some team will on the practice squad give him a shot and try to develop him next season, become a backup quarterback, but quarterback too. But I mean, Dan Campbell said the possibility, they're not ruling out the possibility of them keeping 3 quarterbacks on the 53 man, and I think that's absolutely outrageous. I really do believe that, at least with Hendon Hooker. I think that's outrageous. Even keeping Hooker on the practice squad at this point, I think is kind of ridiculous. I mean, I think you kind of know what you're going to get from him now. He's going to be a quarterback who can take off and run, and that's really the only thing he can do at a good level. So I think that's what you kind of get from Hendon Hooker. So it's very, very unfortunate, but it looks like the former Lions' third-round pick of the 2023 NFL Draft, one of the two, or both of the two, we'll get to the other one here in a second, are no longer going to be on the roster in 2 days from now. So it's unfortunate, but Hendon Hooker was once again horrible today. Jacob Saylor's, again, statistically not that great, 3.6, but 32 yards, but he looks electric. You watch him on the field, he looks great. If Jacob Saylor's not make the practice squad, that's a problem. Hendon Hooker, again, the one scramble was amazing that he did. Backed out of a sack and was able to run for 25 yards, but that was the only play he did the whole day that was special. Craig Reynolds, 5 for 12. Why did we keep playing him in the preseason? I'm finally got the preseason over just so he can stay healthy. Deion Jackson was not good, 2 for 3. Didn't really have a whole lot of carries, though, and really wasn't on the offense much besides that as well. On the receiving game, Isaac Tesla, 2 for 41 and a touchdown. That touchdown was from 33 yards, and it was an absolute dot by Kyle Allen. And Tesla was able to bring it in for the touchdown on a one-on-one. Pretty much in the air, 33 yards is what it was. It pretty much wasn't a run after catch. It was like in the air. So it was a great catch by Isaac Tesla. Did the warm on the touchdown catch. I thought that it was a great one, by the way. I don't really see anybody do that dance very well, but he did. So we definitely got the second best wide receiver now on our team when it comes to celebrations. It's got to be him or J-Mo, obviously, after St. Brown. I'd probably take the Slav or J-Mo, though, when it comes to celebrations. I can't believe we're talking about celebrations right now. But Isaac Tesla had a very good day. He ends the preseason, I think, with about close to, I want to say, 150 receiving yards and 3 touchdowns. And he almost had if Tony Jefferson wasn't there, I guess he was kind of there. I was going to say, if Tony Jefferson wasn't there in the preseason, then he could have been another touchdown. But Tesla's route was kind of messed up in that Hall of Fame game as well in that one throw. So probably wouldn't have ruled him touchdown. But Tesla, very, very good preseason. I think he probably led the NFL in receiving touchdowns throughout the preseason, if I had to guess. Jacob Saylors was pretty good throughout the air today, which I think could earn him a practice squad spot besides his running ability, 3 for 27. Ronnie Bell, 2 for 25. Was quite involved in the offense today, but he also had a penalty. So that could cost him making the practice squad spot. Obviously, he won't win wide receiver 6, but was competing for probably that last spot in the practice squad, and I think he has earned it. Craig Reynolds, 2 for 20. Deion Jackson, 1 for 18. And good old reliable Tom Kennedy was very quiet this preseason, had 1 for 5. And Dominic Lovett and Jackson Meeks, you do not see them there. Neither of them had a reception this game. Both of them played. You also did not see, of course, Jacoby Keenan-James and Malik Taylor. Both of them also played this game. It's very unfortunate, man. I was extremely high on Jacoby Keenan-James this offseason. I honestly was one of the lone people who almost thought he could win the wide receiver 6 spot before the preseason began. I really thought he could knock out Meeks and Tom Kennedy and Dominic Lovett. I really thought he could do that, and he just did not. He did not even have a reception during the preseason, and he had a muff punt. So, unfortunate for Jacoby Keenan-James. Hopefully, he can land a spot on a practice squad somewhere else. I highly doubt it, though, since he did nothing throughout this preseason. But wishing the best for Jacoby Keenan-James. Malik Taylor as well did not have a reception this preseason. Wishing the best for him. But Jacoby Keenan-James specifically, I hope he ends a spot somewhere. But it's unfortunate, man, that he didn't pan out. But who was I talking about? Jackson Meeks and Dominic Lovett. Neither of them had a reception today. I don't even know if Jackson Meeks had a target. I really didn't even see him on the offense that much, which either I didn't see him or the Lions didn't play him much because he's in the wide receiver 6 spot. I think it was more of that he just wasn't getting targets, and he was on the field, just wasn't getting targets. Dominic Lovett had, I think, a couple targets, but it was the one that was an interception by Hendon Hooker, and I think he had another one from Hendon Hooker as well, but couldn't bring it in. So I don't know. I think right now, I think Jackson Meeks is still going to win the wide receiver 6 spot. It's really going to come down to, does Brad Holmes care about, what does he care about? Does he care about having a backup punt returner on Dominic Leggett and possibly kick returner with him? Or does he care more about a wide receiver who's going to produce more if he ever has to come on the field in year one, which would probably be Jackson Meeks? So it's really what's going to come down to, in my opinion. I mean, Dominic Leggett also has the advantage since he was a draft pick, but it's really going to be interesting. But I do think, since none of them did anything in this game, I think Jackson Meeks, just by the swim, wants the wide receiver 6 spot. I'll go over that in my 53-man roster prediction, my final one that you'll probably see just under 24 hours from now. I'll talk about that position battle more and my actual thoughts on it. On the defensive side of the ball, nobody was good today on the defense side of the ball. I'm going to keep it a buck with you. Nobody was that great besides Warren Strickland. I will be honest. Warren Strickland, I guess, heard me talking about him not being that good, me thinking he was more built like a cornerback and, wasn't a great tackler and wasn't great in coverage. He was great today. He made a couple big hits, made some couple really nice tackles. One of them was almost like a, spine buster. One of his tackles, a huge hit, great tackle. He looked better in coverage today from what I saw. Obviously, he's got the special team ability. I think Strickland, after today, he had 8 tackles and obviously was very good at tackling and the big hits he made today as well. I legitimately do believe this, that Warren Strickland is in a practice squad spot. I really do believe that. Did not think he was going to make the practice squad. I did not even think he was going to make the practice squad after last week, but I think he does make the practice squad after his performance today. Now, moving on, we got DJ Miller. Now, DJ Miller, if it looks like my eyes are watering, I don't know why that's the case. It must just be the camera. I'm completely fine right now. But DJ Miller was not great today. Got beat a couple times in coverage. Did have one nice rep in the end zone that I actually ended up losing to a touchdown catch by former Lion Quintez Cephas. But DJ Miller got beat multiple times today. He was fighting for a practice squad spot, and I just don't think he did enough. He only played 2 preseason games for us. I don't think he did enough to earn a practice squad spot. He actually might have played in the Falcons game. I don't think he did, though. I could be wrong. Eric Hallett also struggled today, but I think he earns a practice squad spot. He can play cornerback. He can play safety. He's been very good overall throughout this preseason besides this game. So I do think he at least earns himself a practice squad. See if he makes my 53-man or even practice squad tomorrow when that video comes out. So check out that. Anthony Pittman played pretty good today as well. Had a couple of bad reads, but I thought he made some nice tackles. He made a really nice tackle on the running back after he got a first down. Can't really remember who was running the ball, but Anthony Pittman had a very good, nice tackle. He's got the special team ability, so I think he also earns himself a spot at least on the practice squad. Nowaski had struggled this preseason. Nowaski was very good, though, I thought, today, cementing himself on the 53-man. Nick Whiteside was one of our worst cornerbacks today. I'm going to be honest, was beat probably 3 or 4, maybe even 5. I doubt 5, but I think he was beat 3 or 4 times in coverage today. Nick Whiteside had a tough day, so I think his shot of making the 53-man has taken a big slump. I still think there's a really good shot, probably makes the practice squad, but when it comes to 53-man, it took a big, big dip. It really, really did. He did not have a good performance at all today. Tyson Russell got the first interception of the preseason for the Lions, so UDFA cornerback from Vanderbilt. Now, I still don't know if that earns himself a spot on the practice squad. He did not do enough to earn himself a spot in the 53, but it could do enough to earn himself a spot on the practice squad. He's a very quick cornerback. He is a little bit undersized. Actually, isn't. I think he's like 5'11". But he was okay this preseason. I think he can be a practice squad cornerback. It's really just going to come down to, do the Lions think he can develop into being a good player? I think that's really what it's going to come down to, because if they think he's just going to be a practice squad player at best, which is kind of what I view him off of what I saw this preseason, then why keep him, and when you could go bring in somebody else or keep a different guy at a different position. So I think that's really what's going to come down to Tyson Russell. I think he did overall, though, have a pretty decent day besides that pick as well. His mate was very quick, making some plays. but I don't know if it earns itself a spot in the practice squad. Yasin did not have a great day today, but also did not play a whole lot. Grant Stewart was very electric today. Had a 50-yard kickoff return on the first play. Maybe the Lions do keep him in kick return just because he does have that explosiveness. He also made a couple of nice tackles as well. One where he was holding the running back's leg to make the tackle. That was pretty epic, but it was very good as well today. He was probably overall our best defensive player throughout the preseason. Deron Gilbert was out there quite a bit today, made some nice tackles as he was filling in for Ezekiel Turner, who got injured in this game, and it looks like he has torn his Achilles. As apparently he was carted off the field, did not return to the game, and was in a walking boot, or I think he was actually in a walking boot and crutches, or something like that. I think it was just maybe in a walking boot, but in the locker room when the Lions beat reporters went in there. So it looks like Ezekiel, and they said it looked like an Achilles injury to them. So it looks like Ezekiel Turner's 2025 NFL season is going to be over. I didn't think he was going to make the 53-man, but I thought he had a very good shot at making the practice squad just because he is one of the better special teamers on our team, in my opinion. I thought he for sure was going to win a practice squad spot because of that. But now it looks like he's popped his Achilles and is going to be out for the whole entire 2025 NFL season, which is very unfortunate, and that spot's going to have to go somewhere else, so we'll see who it goes to. But Deron Gilbert filled in okay. I just don't think he's done enough throughout this preseason to make the practice squad. Maybe because the special teams, but on the defense side of the ball, I just don't see much there. Cunningham also had another very good day today, cementing himself on the 53. Allen George got beat a couple times in coverage. Mitchell Gude, I thought, had a decent day in the run game, but in the pass rush game, he continues to be one of the worst pass rushers I've ever seen. Chris Smith, he was one of the guys, in my opinion, that was one of the top 5 guys, in my opinion, that was really, really fighting along with him in Gude for a practice squad spot. And I got to fix that. Hold on. But I just don't think he did enough. I really do not think he did enough in this game to earn himself a practice squad spot. Now, there's a couple spots open on the practice squad. It's just, did he really earn enough to get that spot? I really don't know with him. He's going to be like the last guy to make the practice squad. He makes the practice squad, in my opinion. Just really did not do a whole lot this preseason. He doesn't do a lot in the preseason, but he's a good player when you see him in the regular season. So I don't know when it comes down to Chris Smith. Muhammad had a sack, but did not have a great day pressuring the quarterback. Keith Cooper, obviously he does make the 53, though. Keith Cooper, not a great day either, but I still think he's going to at least earn a practice squad spot. Ian Kennelly didn't see a whole lot of him today. I still I don't know. He's going to be also one of the last guys if he makes the practice squad. He'll be like one of the last guys if he makes the practice squad. Broderick Martin, let me talk about this one real quick and we'll wrap this video up, hopefully. Yeah, Broderick Martin's gone. I told you he had to have a consistent day today. If he had a consistent day today, he would 100% make the practice squad. Because him versus the Dolphins and him versus the Falcons was very, very good. It was the most potential and the best play I've ever seen from Broderick Martin. It really, really was. But he played today like he did in the Hall of Fame game versus the Chargers. And what he's done his whole entire NFL career up until those 2 preseason games. He was horrible. Could not get. I swear I watched every single play Broderick Martin was on the field. He was putting his hands up here and just could not get any pressure, could not get any momentum. He was getting either pushed back every time or he was just standing there like a brick wall. His time as a Detroit Lion has come to an end. Showed some 2 promising preseason games. But he just had to be, if he was consistent, if he was just average this game, I think he could have earned himself a practice squad spot, and then the Lions develop him. But after this game today, I think his time as a Detroit Lion has come to an end. It's just he did not have a good day today at all. Was essentially a brick wall the whole game. Not in a good way. So I think Broderick Martin's time as a Detroit Lion, and the other 2023 third-round pick with the Lions traded 2 fourths and a 5th-round pick to come up and get in that draft. Selected him with the 96 overall pick. He'll no longer be on the team by Tuesday, in my opinion. His time as a Detroit Lion, along with Hendon Hooker, has come to an end. Miles Adams was essentially again on the field for the whole game, playing every single quarter. Really didn't do much, but I still think he might earn himself a practice squad spot. And besides that, Zach Johnson, I don't know why he's showing up here on the defensive side of the ball, the guard. He struggled today. Also had another penalty that resulted in a 30-yard catch from Ronnie Bell being called back. Avonte Maddox had one nice play, and I don't even know if they counted a pass breakup. I don't think they did, but had a nice play on, I think, that Luke Lakely, the tight end, or Luke Lackey, I don't know how you say his last name, from Iowa. I think he's from Iowa. Had a nice pass breakup on him, but really didn't see much of him besides that. O'Connor did not have a great day today. Wasn't making much happen, but he's obviously pretty much guaranteed to make the 53. Shane Zylstra, does he earn himself the tight end 3 spot? He's probably the headliner, but I still don't know if I want to keep 3 tight ends on the 53-man or not. Check to see if I did or not tomorrow. Nate Lynn. Now, Nate Lynn did not play like he did against the Falcons or in the Hall of Fame game today, but he looked very good again today. He did not have a great game last week, but he looked very good again today. He should have had a sack, which would have taken away Muhammad's, because Muhammad ended up getting that sack from Nate Lynn, who created the initial pressure. And Nate Lynn did not have a great first half at all, besides that one play that almost got a sack in the first half. But besides that, up until that sack, really was not playing good at all. Could not get any pressure. But the second half, he absolutely took off and got a whole lot of pressure. So if Nate Lynn does not make the 53, let alone practice squad, we're going to have a problem. But I do think he does earn himself a spot on the 53 after Ahmed Hassanin is going to be down a while. I don't think he's going to be out for the season, but he's going to be down a while with a knee injury. And then Josh Pascal's injury, or whatever's going on with him, it's not an injury, but whatever's going on with him, they're going to expect him to return now later than expected. So looks like Josh Pascal and Ahmed Hassanin are both going to be, well, Ahmed Hassanin looks like he's going to be on IR to start the season, and looks like Josh Pascal is going to stick on NFI to start the season, which means Ahmed Hassanin and Josh Pascal are out for the first 4 games of the season. That's what it looks like. So then Muhammad will be edge 3, and then Nate Lynn will be edge 4 as of right now. If we don't bring back Zadarius Smith, man, once he is gone, and he'll probably get signed here Tuesday or Wednesday. Once he has been signed, if he is not a Detroit Lion, I am going to absolutely lose my mind. So there's a fair one right now. I know I've been saying that for a whole lot of videos, but once the signing actually becomes official, that's when I'm going to lose my mind. Isaac Ukwu did not have a good day today. Could not get any pressure. The whole Lions team, essentially, besides maybe Nate Lynn, could not get any pressure today from the interior or the defensive end position. Isaac Ukwu, though, could not get any pressure. I don't think he earns a practice squad spot. Maybe he does after the week he had last week, but he wasn't consistent enough this preseason. Jacob Sayers was good on punt returns. Grant Stewart obviously had that nearly 50-yard kick return. And Kenny and Levette also had one, but not for a whole lot. Jake Bates was 100% with 101 for extra points. And Jack Fox, 51.5 yards per punt. On the Texans real quick, we'll just run through it. And we'll wrap this game up if I can ever get to the top. Their quarterbacks, Keaton Slovis and Graham Mertz, both ate us alive. They were both very accurate. Keaton Slovis had that one tip ball intercepted by Tassan Russell. Running game, we struggled. We held the running game pretty good in the preseason, but we struggled today. Jawar Jordan, 4.2 yards a carry. Graham Mertz took off a couple of times. Still wasn't the worst running day performance by us, but it was not up to standards. Cornell Powell was pretty decent today, 6 for 63. Obviously, the former Lion, Quintez Cephas, I'm glad he's still in the league. I think he might have earned himself a practice squad spot, even maybe 53, but probably practice squad spot after his performance day for them there. 4 receptions, 51 yards, and a touchdown, and his touchdown grab was on DJ Miller, and it was a very nice grab. Very great contested wide receiver. Did have a tipped drop pass that ended up being picked off by Tassan Russell that was on him more than Keaton Slovis, who I think it was on. But overall, he had a very good day. Juwan Winfrey, I think he just got signed there the other day, had 1 for 26. Xavier Hutchinson, I believe the former, I want to say, 5th-round rookie, 1 for 24. Jaden Higgins, the 2nd-round pick this year, who was one of my favorite receivers in the draft, 2 for 18. Didn't play a whole lot, but when he did play, it was very good. Only played a couple drives. That's about it. Headline there, Harrison Bryant, who just got traded there the other day, had 2 for 13. And that is about it. Irv Smith, 1 for 6. Daniel Jackson had 1 for 3 and touchdown. On the defense side of the ball, not a whole lot going on. Arthur Mullet had a sack. Jalen Mills, the veteran safety, had an interception, who just signed there about a week ago. maybe 2 weeks ago. Tommy Taga I forget how you say his name. I think it's Tommy Togowow or something like that. Togia, I don't know how you say his name. I know who he is, but I don't know how you say his name. Had a sack. Oh, want to hear this one too? Hagai Ndubusi? Ndubusi. Yeah, I don't know how you say his name. I want to say it's probably the Nadubsi? Is it that? I don't know how you say his name. He also had to sack the Lions. 3 sacks on the day. Their offensive line was not good again, and that was it pretty much. Their snapping issues are very weird. Kamar Fairbairn missed a field goal that wasn't really on him. They just didn't kick the ball. It was their long snapper, I think, Ferguson, who just got signed there. I want to say it was Jalen Ferguson or something. Just got signed there a couple of days ago. He had 2 or 3 bad snaps this game, so I mean, their long snapper's dealing with injury right now, but if he has to start the year as a week 1 long snapper, that's going to be a problem for them. But Lions get absolutely whooped today. On the offensive line for the Lions, nobody really stood out. Giovanni Manu had another rough day today. Jamarco Jones did not play, so I don't know what's going on there. If they didn't play him because they don't want him getting hurt, as their tackles behind Dan Skipper are not very experienced and reliable. I don't know if that's the reason why, or if he's dealing with an injury of some sort that I did not pick up. But besides that, Sione Vaki also did not play today with an injury. He's also probably going to miss the start of the season. I would not be surprised if he's placed on IR to start the season. I don't think he will, but he could be. And everybody else in the offensive line, I think Nate Mutai had a good day today. Might earned himself a spot in the 53. Kingsley had an okay day, but I don't know if he earned himself a spot in the 53 or not. And that's pretty much all I took away from the game today. Maybe Michael Neese earned himself a spot in the practice squad. I don't know. One probably go Lions. The Lions 2025 preseason is now officially over. Leave your thoughts in the comments down below. Who do you think earned themselves a spot in the 53 or practice squad? And who do you think might have had a decent preseason up until this point and not have a good performance today? Don't end up making the practice squad at 53. I want to hear your thoughts in the comments down below. One probably go Lions. We're only 2 weeks away from the regular season beginning. Roster cuts happen Tuesday. That's when the 53-man will be assembled, and the practice squad will probably be fully assembled by Wednesday. So, busy week will come in. Hopefully, probably lots of videos this upcoming week. So, look forward to that. One probably go Lions. Look out for my 53-man tomorrow as well.